Hello, my name's Darren and welcome to Must See Films, a channel that's helping you see films differently. In this video I'd like to look at the opening chase in Drive and explore what makes such a cinematic, suspenseful sequence work. Let's look at how information is presented to the audience and why the opening scene might just be the best part of the film. The first layer of information is the chase itself, posing the question if the driver will escape. Running parallel to that is the introduction of the radio basketball game. Not only does it show the calm demeanor and approach of our character, but the audio we hear reflects each of the moments of build-up.
10 seconds on the clock. Clippers pressure. Pierce passes to Rondo.
Similar to the way that song lyrics can serve as inner monologue for characters and their emotional states.
It certainly appears so.
Night of the fight, you may feel a slight sting.
The most essential part of this scene construction is the slow build-up of each separate layer, and their escalation leads to their intersection, ending the basketball game and unknowingly acting as a narrative device to help the driver escape. There are several reasons that this setup and payoff is satisfying and effective. William Archer and Andrew Stanton, the director of Finding Nemo and WALL-E, have described drama as anticipation mingled with uncertainty. The radio element of this scene helps build the anticipation of the scene, but its overall satisfaction can be understood more if we explore the rule of three. This rule is used in storytelling and mostly in jokes. The first time we see something, it's given equal value. When we see the same thing for the second time, the audience experiences recognition of that repetition, as the brain likes to identify patterns. Now that the pattern has been set up and the brain looks for repetition, comedians and storytellers understand this, and use the third appearance to present the information differently, as a misdirection or to play with the audience's expectations for effect. For example, in The Shawshank Redemption, we see red appear before the parole board 3 times. The first 2 appearances are practically identical. The third instance is different in imagery, dialogue, and outcome, indicating how red has changed after Andrew left. The climax of the drive sequence uses the same recognition and awareness of the radio to surprise and reward the audience with the misdirection and the unexpected use of a common element. Now this might be as simple as setting something up and paying it off later, but what I'm interested in is whether you present the audience with the information beforehand. Let's look at 2 opposite examples. In this classic scene from Pulp Fiction, Tarantino makes it clear that the toaster is included in the scene with this cut. But on your first viewing of the film, it seems like an everyday, casual action. The result of this mundane activity turns into the catalyst for Vincent's death, causing a surprising moment for the audience.
That's how you gonna beat him, Butch. Keep underestimating.
Now compare that moment of shock, misdirection and surprise with the opening from Touch of Evil. We, the audience, see a bomb planted in the back of a car and are then introduced to characters walking alongside the car for well over 3 minutes. This average scene becomes filled with tension and suspense as we see a perfect example of anticipation mingled with uncertainty. Now one example creates a few seconds of surprise, and the other creates close to 4 minutes of suspense. Not saying that one is better than the other, but interesting how an audience's experience of a scene can be changed based on what information is provided. Another reason why Drive's opening sequence is so joyous is when we reach the climax, the idea of parallel stories coming together to affect one another. Another classic example is from this scene in The Good, the Bad and the Ugly. In one instance we have Clint Eastwood's character appropriately preparing his pistol. In the second but parallel layer we see approaching characters who pose a threat to Eastwood, causing uncertainty, and Sergio Leone creates a masterful feeling of anticipation. The third character of the scene is the atmosphere, the marching outside. The noise from the streets creates the volume necessary for the thugs to approach without being detected, and they even stop when the marching stops. But one small mistake of timing by the thugs is enough to hint to Eastwood's character. He even explains this fact to the thug after he shoots him.
Your spurs.
There are two kinds of spurs, my friend.
To drop. And Kamen comes down with another
So even though the opening to Drive is short and simple, its cinematic use of suspense, timing, layering, and carefully crafted audience information is crucial for creating the satisfaction at the climax of the scene. Another notable point from this sequence is that it's all filmed from the point of view of inside the car, bringing you closer to the driver character and just showcasing the amazing directing talent from this film.